The Open is quite possibly one of the most crucial times of the day. And the reason dates back to sort of a little bit in history. And the reason was that what you tended to find was a lot of institutions and brokerages used to execute right on the Open after receiving, the client orders overnight or the instructions as to what they needed to do. And that's why, back in the day, the Open used to be absolutely pivotal, and you used to get most of the volume and volatility and business done, within the first hour of trade. However, nowadays, whilst you do still get a lot of interaction and movement on the Open, because of the extended trading hours and because there's a lot more sort of ways in which you can execute successfully, we tend to find that whilst the Opens are crucial, they don't quite always give us the kind of open plays or the aggressive open plays that you used to see. However, there are some very key opportunities when talking about the Open or the market open. So note, the market open is the most anticipated trading time because players have had time to adjust perception, strategize, and determine changes based on the overnight markets. Again, also remember that you go back into history a little bit, and with markets, because all the markets used to shut at a certain time, with the advent now of almost 24-hour markets, business can be done in highly correlated markets if need be, and that is why the open trade is not as aggressive as what it would have been a couple of years ago. It is important, and that is why we're going to pay attention to it. So note, when talking about the Open, the context is key when interpreting the Open. So where are we opening in context? Now, the more confidence in the auctioning of the Open, the higher is the probability of continuing in that direction. So what we're going to talk about is I'm going to show you 4 different types of Opens, and I'm going to show them to you from a strong level of conviction to a weak level of conviction. Again, just like when we spoke about the 5 different day types, we're going to talk about 4 different types of opens. And again, I'm going to show them to you so that you can get an understanding of when there's an aggressive, strong, intentional type open versus a sort of more lackluster two-way trade, sort of passive type open. Now, as you can see in the illustration, we're using the example of a European or a traditional European market with the first hour of trade or the initial balance being the K and the L print. Now, how that market moves in that first hour is crucial, not just for what happens, when the cash markets come in, but what could happen over the course of the rest of the day. Now note, there are 4 unique opening patterns. The first is the open drive, the second is the open test drive, the third is the open rejection reversal, and the fourth is merely an open auction. Let's now have a look at each one of these individually, and I'll show you a graphic depiction of each.